So you don't have the budget for carbon fiber, but you're looking to get into an Émonda. The SLR5 could be the bike for you. Let's get on topic. Should be, yeah, I'm telling you. Let's get on topic. Hey everybody, it's Thomas with Get Out Arizona, and you are watching another great episode of Bike Showcase on Toolbox Topic.
Yeah.
I'm joined once again by my co-host Brandon Van Leeuwen. Brandon, how the hell are you?
I'm peachy.
Nice. We haven't done one of these in quite some time, Bike Showcase.
We haven't had any new bikes in a while.
I know.
Or actually new models.
Yeah, new models. It's been a dry season, so. And once again, we're coming to you from the Trek Bicycle Store of West Phoenix in Goodyear, Arizona. It's where the cool kids hang out. And me. And just as a reminder to everybody out there who wants to talk a little poo, I am not sponsored by Trek or Trek Bicycle Stores of West Phoenix. I tell you guys, they charge me extra to have to deal with me. It's called asshole tax. Sorry, YouTube. Anyways, yes, we haven't done a bike showcase in quite some time. We're just waiting on different models to come in, different ones we compare and stuff like that. But what I realize is we actually haven't talked about this. We talked about the Émonda AL, but we haven't talked about the Émonda ALR5, which is going to be that entry-level / mid-level on the Émonda series, but instead of carbon fiber, we have aluminum.
Right.
So we're going to gain just a scotch more weight, but we are going to have a significant price savings of $1,000 between the carbon version of this, which has all the same group, 105, everything's identical, but the frame materials. So, Brandon, take it away. Why should people consider this, even if they're not necessarily on a budget? Why would you consider this over the carbon fiber version?
This really is a sweet spot in budget and performance.
Right.
This is probably the, we were just talking about this bike yesterday in the shop, how we should have a fleet of these in the shop so that when we want to do our rides in the morning, we don't have to bring our own bikes in. Anybody that works at the shop will be happy to ride this bike and be proud to ride this bike. Even though, once again, we're spoiled, we all ride Dura-Ace, we all ride full carbon bikes, this bike is completely sufficient for what we want to do in the mornings.
Right.
I would say this bike probably has the best trickle-down technology that I've seen in any bike so far at only $2,300.
Right.
We get stuff that we had on $10,000 bikes only just a few years ago.
Right. And that's what he means by trickle-down technology, guys. What we see come out on the higher-end bikes a couple, 3 years later, that becomes commonplace
Shows up
for our mid-level and entry-level bikes.
Right.
So, which makes it, again, a compelling choice and great for the consumer,
you don't have
the
to
end
pay
user.
Quite as much to play on this one. Can we start with the frame?
Absolutely. Let's start with the frame.
This is, well, like you were saying, it's aluminum. It is a hydroformed aluminum, so it has sophisticated tube shapes. It is thicker in places where we need the strength and thickness, and it is thinner where we can do without that strength and add a little bit of weight savings. It's what we call hydroform technology, where they use actual water pressure to make the tube shapes. So not only are they lighter, more sophisticated, but also they, talking about the trickle-down technology, are using a Kammtail, virtual Kammtail technology, which on one of my earlier Madones was what they were raving about. And what that is an aerodynamic leading edge that once they figure out where the air breaks up, they just cut it off and they save material that way, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
So Kammtail technology on this for a little bit of aerodynamics, even though the tube seems mostly round on this one, there is a little bit of an aerodynamic factor on there. I like that they paid some attention to that. So frame is cool, I dig it. You did say it is a little bit of a heavier bike, you're right. Guess around just under 20 pounds.
And I'm going to have the stats up here.
Yeah, I think the 56 is just under 20 pounds, which is not light for a road bike.
Right. And people are going to talk about that. It's heavy, it's a dog, it's this, it's that. And here's my opinion. Get over it. Jesus, if you're worried about a pound or two, swap out the rims or lose some weight. How's that sound?
It is a very easily upgradable bike. I mean, look at the things that you could do for not super expensive. Get a carbon rail saddle, get a carbon post. That's not going to cost you a terrible amount of money. That's going to drop, it might drop close to,
you can change out your cockpit as well.
Handlebar, stem.
Yeah.
For a very reasonable amount of money, you can maybe get this thing down to 17.5 pounds for not spending a ton.
Right.
But then do spend a ton, get some nicer wheels for this, something maybe off another bike that goes on here. and really upgrade.
I do like
really
those Kobe
upgrade the
Triple X
Yeah.
carbon rims. Those have been good to me since I've had those. So, I mean, that would be something that I would consider putting on this.
So on the road version, you're going to have an Aeolus, and the Aeolus comes in a number of different versions. That would be a fine upgrade to what we currently have.
Right.
But so we start with the frame. Let's go back to that. Let's talk about the fork. Talk about the trickle down technology. Full carbon fork on this guy, which is awesome. Carbon forks have been around for a while, especially on our aluminum bikes, but this one has a full carbon steer. So we're carbon, whereas some lesser forks would be bonded aluminum to the lowers. This is carbon fiber all the way to the top. That's awesome. That's saving a bunch of weight. That's absorbing a lot of vibration. So that's cool. I'm really proud of the fact that they did that on this bike. Highest end aluminum bike. Cockpit, that's cool. It's all right. It leaves a bit to be desired, like we were saying before.
But at the price point, it's what you would expect.
Right.
It's not like Trek is
terrible.
cutting corners there. It's what you would expect at this price point. And again, it's always going to be a give and take.
Yep.
If it was a carbon cockpit, you're adding a few $100s easy out of the gate.
And it's not terrible. It's not an ugly setup by any means, but again, that'd be one fun thing to improve along the way as you save money and such.
Absolutely.
So I always say things that I hate about these bikes, and here's one of them. And I got to be honest. I hate how they routed these cables through the headset. So for most people, they don't care about that.
That's got to be a maintenance nightmare for you guys.
Anytime I need to do anything with the headset or the cockpit here, I have to remove the hydraulic lines. If I need to replace the bearings, I need to remove the hydraulic lines, re-bleed them, reset them up. That's a maintenance nightmare. Again, not something not something for the consumer to worry about so much, unless they like to do their own stuff. But for me, I find that very irritating. I would much rather see them come out like they did a few years ago and just bring them out to the down tube here. I still think it looked clean. I still think it looked acceptable, and the maintenance was far less for small jobs like swapping out headset bearings, things like that. So, but that's one bad thing, in my opinion. But the rest of it's very, very good. It's not a deal breaker. Let's talk about the wheels and that trickle down technology again. We have.
It sounds like something DOO economics. Voodoo economics. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Not really, but anyways, go ahead. Continue.
It was good. So,
something else you can consider, like, subscribe, bell notification icon.
There it is.
There it is.
You
we haven't done
asked
it in a while. So, all right, here we go. Trickle down technology.
Another thing I'm very proud of that they did on this bike is they gave you through axles front and back. That's cool. That's something that even me, I'm not super in tune to some of these technologies, but through axles, I feel the stiffness in it. I feel the strength in it. I think that's a very cool feature that they put on this bike. So through axles, front and back. Wheels are okay. They're, again, in line with the price point of this bike. They could use a little bit of upgrading for sure. They're aluminum wheels. They're fine.
Right. Yeah, they're going to do the job for now. Yep. So, and it would probably be one of the first things. I would replace the saddle because I would want a saddle that works for me. I'm going to leave actually the link up above for the bike fitment videos that we did, because if I were to purchase, it didn't matter if it was the Damani, the Checkpoint, whatever, you guys have my measurements. You could pretty much line this up for me right out of the gate, and it's gonna feel fantastic. But I would definitely change out the saddle probably first.
I always recommend to anyone who's getting into cycling or has already been in cycling, has never had a fit, get a fit done.
World of difference, guys.
They're not cheap. They are time consuming, but once you have those numbers, provided nothing happens to you, like physically, those numbers are yours to keep, and then those numbers will transfer onto any bike using an XY tool.
Right, and I'm coming up on the 500 miles on the Checkpoint, and that's what I wanted to do the full review on that. And I know I'm kind of sidetracking, but when I bought that, Glenn did that. It was one of the first things he did for me, was set that up based on my measurements, and almost 500 miles, there doesn't need to be anything adjusted. It was like that. So amazing. Can't say enough good things about that. So we have hydraulic brakes. These are going to be 2-piston or 4-piston?
These are 2-pistons.
2-piston. Okay. Again, price point, that's nothing out of the ordinary. You have a full 105 group, which is nice.
And that's
really all you need.
I'm really proud of Trek for doing that. Once you get to 105 and above, they give you the complete grupo. I'm talking cassette, chain, everything is 105. A lot of props go to them for doing that. A lot of companies do not do that. They'll chintz out on the cassette or the chain, or put their proprietary crankset on. But Trek But Trek gives you the complete package on there. I'm really proud of them for doing that.
I know, and we're not even going to cut. Brandon kept on talking, and I'm good with that. Now I'm going to be back in the camera. That's all right. Next time, I'm bringing out the studio lights, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. So, all right.
We were talking about wheels. Let's go back to one thing real quick with the wheels.
Yep.
This bike will accommodate up to 28 millimeter tires.
Nice.
So
Get a little extra rubber on there, yeah.
Tires are getting bigger now, and if you're not riding 25s or 28s, you should be, in my opinion.
Right.
They are
tubeless or tubeless ready?
They are tubeless ready, but they do not come out of the box tubeless.
So we can pull the tube, put the liner in there.
I believe you'll need new tires, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, you'll need new tires, liners, sealant, and valves, and you are ready to go tubeless.
So for an old crusty like Obi-Wan, who's still using tubes.
I do too.
Really, dude?
Yeah.
You just ruined my whole talking trash to him. Forget it. Never mind. And I don't want to hear anything from you, Obi-Wan. Really? You're still using tubes?
On my road bike, yes.
Wow. I don't know what to say.
Every rider has to make for themselves.
Oh, man.
It's my bike. It's my choice.
Oh, Jesus Lord. Continue. The wheels.
So 28 millimeter tires on here is your max tire size, and I would suggest that anybody who's still riding 23s at least try 25s or step up to the 28s. You will not regret it. It'll take some getting used to, but after a little while,
I think the gains are worth.
You will see the improvement
deficiencies
in feel and efficiency.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You can go with gator skins.
Yeah,
Friggin', yep.
28 gator skins are awesome.
28 tubeless gator skins.
All right.
Thank you very much. So, anyways, I got to find something to harass him on. So, all right. So we've got a solid bike. We've got a solid group. We've got a pretty darn good wheel set to get started. We have some things on here we can upgrade as we go. But I mean, this is not a throwaway frame by any stretch of the imagination. No. So this is going to be as stuff breaks down, you replace it, upgrade it as you go. And we're talking a 10-year bike.
Yeah, I think kind of the ideal guy for this bike is somebody who likes to ride crits, but doesn't want to take their $12,000 bike into a crit where there's definitely more jostling, a little more elbow rubbing, and potential for crashing. This could be a super cool little crit bike for somebody, for anybody who doesn't want to sacrifice a super high-end bike in those conditions. It could be really good.
And I can even see something like this for me, where I'm just going to go blast out a quick 25-mile road ride. I don't need the slack geometry of the Domane for a longer ride. I'm not looking to be friggin' super sleek with the Madone, so this hits that sweet spot. Don't really need to, a couple minor changes here and there, but at the end of the day, that's it. Quick road ride and call it good.
I could live with this bike.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And I was actually, I took a little bit of video, and maybe you'll be able to notice it on that as far as the B-roll. God, the weld, the bonding on this is just ridiculously clean.
Yeah, they file them down and make them look super clean.
You would not know this.
They have a name for it, and I forget what it is, but you could be fooled at first
thinking
glance
it's carbon.
That it's carbon.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just a beautiful all-around bike. So, all right, well, instead of dragging this out any longer, we'll just call it good. There you have it, my friends. This is the ALR5 Émonda. Okay, and yes. If you took the 3 bikes, the letters all spell the same thing. We know this. I'm sure someone's going to comment down below, but that's okay. Anyways, a great bike, a great value for someone who wants just something good, dependable for those crit rides, short rides, not looking for endurance rides, and you're not looking for the aerodynamics of the Madone. This is going to be the bike for you. Super excited about this. I'm glad we did this showcase. So if you have any questions, obviously, you know what to do. Maybe not, but we'll tell you here in a few minutes. But I will tell you, like, subscribe, bell notification icon. It's the trifecta. It helps out the channel. It helps out the video. We appreciate you guys for that. Link for Trek Bicycle Store of West Phoenix down below. If you have any questions, you can follow that link. You can call the guys here at the shop. You can comment down below. Ask. We answer, guys. Seriously, it may take us a couple days. If I don't have the direct answer and I can't find it, I'll get a hold of Brandon so he can give me the good intel on that. Going to be other links, our social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the devil's work, but it's necessary to get the day-to-day affairs of Get Out Arizona. Group hikes, group rides. We do a lot of fun stuff, my friends. There's also affiliate links down below. Now, if you follow one of those links and you make a qualifying purchase, you will not be charged any additional money, but we will receive a small commission, which helps out with coffee money, gas money, park passes. It's the other trifecta that we love so much here, my friends. Seriously. So, on that note, what do we say? Be kind to yourself and others. All right, I was going to switch it up, and you totally missed that. So, I know. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Okay, that's okay. He uses tubed tires in his road bike. Be kind to yourself and others. Be amazing stewards on the trail, and we have to ask, what are you waiting for?
Thank you. Get out, Arizona.
Yes. We will see you on that next adventure, my friends. Take care, everybody.
Totally unscripted.
Right? We'll see you next week.